Ausbildung in Germany. This is a program where you get free education and at the same time you also get paid to study. So in this video I'm going to tell you everything about Ausbildung in Germany, who can do it, how to apply, how much money you get, and much more. If you're new here, my name is Max. I'm a computer science and design student in Germany, and this channel is the go-to place for everything about studying and working in Germany. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is Ausbildung? You might have heard about it before under the name vocational training or apprenticeship. This is a program that includes practical work. There are two different Ausbildung types: vocational training and dual studies. In this video, we are going to focus on the first one. I already made a video about dual studies, check it out if you're interested. So in a vocational training program in Germany, you learn skills and knowledge about specific professions and combine theory with practice. You usually do practical work for 3 days with some company and study in school for the other 2 days. So different from a dual study program, you don't go to university but to a vocational school. Now all of the vocational training is paid. The company pays you for your learning, studying and for your experience for the whole duration. And at the end of the program, there's usually a final exam. If you successfully pass it, you get a recognized vocational certificate. Now, different from the general education that you get at universities, vocational training always fulfills a specific purpose of learning one recognized profession. For example, you can do an Ausbildung zum Steuerfachangestellten, so an apprenticeship as a tax specialist. So you don't learn general knowledge, instead you specialize in a certain field. Most of the time you directly get a job with the same company after the Ausbildung, because they already know that you have the capability to do the work. I mean, you got the skills from the same company. Now, what are the requirements for Ausbildung? Something that I really like about this kind of study program is that even people with less education can get into a vocational training program. And there is also no age limit. So in theory, you don't need a specific school leaving qualification for an apprenticeship. However, the training companies can specify it as a requirement. Some programs ask for a minimum of 12 years of education, others only want 9 or 10 years. I would say in most of the cases a school leaving certificate is expected. In Germany, this would be the Abitur, der Realschulabschluss or Hauptschulabschluss. And international students can show an equivalent to these certificates. Bachelor's and master's students can also apply for Ausbildung, but I would say they are a bit overqualified for that. It's usually the other way around. People in Germany do an Ausbildung first, and some of them decide to go to university later to get a degree that complements their skills. Now, the vocational training will take place at a vocational school and in a company, so you have to directly apply to the company before the individual deadlines. And as with regular job advertisements, you will need a CV and a cover letter, but you don't need any prior work experience for Ausbildung. Don't worry if there isn't much on your CV so far. In general, the CV or letter of application for an apprenticeship is similar to a regular application for a normal job. And you also need to show a relevant school certificate with your grades. Now, for all the international students from non-EU countries, I have good news. You usually don't need a blocked account if you do Ausbildung, because you get a monthly salary. But the most important requirement for Ausbildung is probably the German language. You need to be able to speak German to enroll in a training program. Usually they expect you to be on the B1 level of German. However, there are also professions where you need language level B2, especially in the ones where you need to communicate with a lot of clients. But it makes sense, right? We are in Germany and all the environments and lessons will be in German. But don't worry, I'm going to create a lot of content about the German language soon, so subscribe if you're interested. Now that we know what the requirements are, how do we go about applying for Ausbildung? First of all, you should think about the field in which you would like to complete it. Right now, there are more than 300 training occupations in Germany, and finding the right one from this huge selection is not easy. But you can find available programs on the company website or on online portals such as Azubio or Ausbildung.de. You can set different filters like city and industry and browse through hundreds of search results. In the program description, you can usually check the number of available apprenticeship positions, salary details and the curriculum. Once you have found a good company, the next step is to prepare your application documents. We have talked about this earlier in the video. You can apply for a program either by sending the documents by post, digitally by email, or on online application portals. Each program has a different process. You can get information on how to submit the application in the program's description. If the company likes your application, you will be invited to an interview. Here you will have the opportunity to introduce yourself personally, answer questions and find out more details about the apprenticeship and the company. If everything goes well, you will get a contract from the company in which you clarify things like duration, curriculum and salary. There are also certain standards, laws and regulations in Germany that make sure that everything is fair. The deadlines for the applications are also different from company to company and industry to industry. The application months for large companies and employers in the public sector are usually September, October and November. For small and medium-sized companies, I would say the application period starts in November and lasts until February. But make sure to check them yourself because there can be massive differences. Now, I can recommend you apply for multiple positions and also as early as possible. For international students, you can also look and apply for Ausbildung from your home country beforehand and then come to Germany. But how much can you earn in Ausbildung? So the advantage of vocational training is that you will get a monthly salary. The amount of course depends on the program and the company, and the difference between salaries can be up to 500 euros per month. Now, apprenticeships that are well paid during the training program generally also offer good earning potential in the future. I will talk about concrete examples in just a second. Now, if a program has a particularly high salary, this is usually because they have been increasingly looking for skilled trainees. As you might know, Germany has a massive shortage of workers right now, and Germany's industry and economy are very dependent on these skilled workers. Because of that, in some fields it can also be much easier to find a spot for a vocational training. At the moment, there is definitely a nursing shortage here, and workers in the catering industry are also in high demand. There are also many professions in the field of technology for which there are not enough applicants in Germany. For example, you can become an industrial mechanic or electronics technician. Trainees in Germany earn an average of 1,057 euros pre-tax per month. As you can see, people in the healthcare and nursing professions earn above average salaries of 1,139 euros per month, followed by aviation and shipping professions. Statistically, big companies pay more than small or middle-sized ones. In big cities, you will also earn more since the cost of living is a little higher. Now, this money is enough to cover your living expenses in most German cities. I would say one of the most popular and best paying vocational training in Germany right now is Ausbildung zum Fachinformatiker, which is basically a program that trains you to become an IT specialist. Of course, the quality of your studies and your experience will also depend on the company you're working at. Currently, some of the best ranked companies for vocational training are Adidas, BMW, Porsche, Audi, Allianz and the German police. Because Germany lacks a workforce in a lot of professions and many companies complain about a shortage of skilled workers, I believe it's a good opportunity to get your education here and land a job. I mean, studying at a university has its advantages, but it's not the right choice for everyone. An apprenticeship also offers many advantages. You earn your own money directly and receive practical training at a company, so you're prepared for your career. Don't forget to enroll in the free Germany Starter Kit course in the video description, download the free Studying in Germany guidebook and join our huge Discord community. Love you and stay focused.